Man, I am having a lot of trouble pausing and unpausing YouTube videos. Apparently, my ability to click in this gigantic box, not enough. Or maybe I'm just clicking too fast and YouTube can't recognize the blinding speed of my 120 odd APM. So, one thing to note here, Bisu has much earlier tech. He's already got a Temple Archives coming in, whereas Guemchi just put down his Citadel. So that's going to mean more Templar for Bisu, and Templar are overpowered, as everyone in the game knows. And luckily, since Guemchi plays Protoss 2, he can't complain about it, and he's just going to attempt to deal with this with Reavers. At the pro level, though, teching all the way to Templar and researching Storm and waiting for Templar energy takes just an eternity on the scale that they're playing on. So we'll see if this is a timing window Guemchi can exploit. Bisu already has a couple Reavers. He hasn't lost any, so neither has Guemchi, but that makes it a lot harder to deal with. When you're trying to, say, skip Reavers and go for Templar first, though, that makes it kind of difficult, especially if you can't make DTs and do some damage or force your opponent to get detection and therefore delay their push until you have time to get Templar and Storm and all those nice Imba air effect Protoss spells. And Bisu is going to return the favor and snipe down an Observer, and this is actually coming at a great time for him because now he's dropping DTs into Guemchi's main, and Guemchi has no Observers there. And okay, there's one coming in, but he tries to put down a pylon. That doesn't work. And Bisu's shuttle barely makes it away. And that's some sweet probe micro versus DT. That DT got like 2 kills, despite the fact that there were no units there. The probes just ate it alive. So they stopped the probes. Mr. DT stopped the probes from mining for a second, but I don't know if that was really worth it for Bisu. He's just keeping Guemchi honest. Now finally that Observer does get sniped. And now you can see Bisu just confidently taking his third. He doesn't have any Templar yet. I guess he'll have them momentarily. And Guemchi's in the middle of the map here, looking like he's gonna try something. He's gonna try sniping that Observer. Those keep dying on both sides in this game, which is unfortunate because that means we'll see less gas for Storm, which generally leads to less epic games. Storm is a pretty epic spell. I just like seeing things die all over the place because of Storm. If you haven't watched the TSL, this is a TSL spoiler, but if you haven't watched the second set of the Noni versus Hydra, go watch that. Just stop listening right now, put some pause, go watch that, and then come back, and then you'll understand. And Guemchi really wants that pylon there over on the 3 o'clock position. He's pulling it back now, and Bisu's actually choosing to go for an Archon with his first 2 High Templar. This is kind of weird. Instead of going for early Storm, Bisu tried to use that Archives for DT drop, and it didn't do anything. So that's not so good for him. Bisu's finally moving out, luckily, right before Guemchi's army contains him, but now, oof, Reaver's shooting Dragoons all over the place. Nice job by Bisu using those DTs. Bisu loved DTs, and that DTs delays Guemchi's third, and Guemchi's pushing right on here, takes the shuttle down, Storm on the Reavers. Reavers fall so quickly, it takes like 2 storms to kill him completely, and now he's just going to use Reaver shots to take down the Reavers. And now Bisu's being forced to walk back across his own bridge, standing in Storm. Nice arc there by the... That was a Reaver snipe of a Templar. Nice arc there by Guemchi. He's sitting with all of these Dragoons right inside of Bisu's natural, taking everything down. Bisu has reinforcements, though, and the Zealots are going to come out, and now Guemchi's pinned, and he can't go anywhere, and he's going to lose his entire force. He's got reinforcements coming in, too, but I don't think they're going to be in time. And yeah, all these Dragoons are going down from both players, I think. This is going to be pretty much an army trade. Guemchi's finally managed to maneuver himself, and Storm coming out, but Bisu, doesn't dodge that second Storm too good, but yeah, Guemchi has to back off. He can't push this, and now I think Bisu's third base is just about to start kicking in, and then, yeah, we can see no third for Guemchi. I think he's thinking about taking the 3 o'clock since he's spent that whole push, but unfortunately for Guemchi, he didn't choose to expand. If he had been expanding while doing that push, then maybe this would be a reasonable base to take. Now he's lost his map control, he's lost his army, and he's trying to expand right next to his opponent. And wow, that observer photon cannon combination, very effective at preventing shuttles from dropping on you. So reflecting back upon the opening builds of both players, going for, and this expansion gets shut down so easily by a couple Zells, going for obs first on this map is really nice because the natural, that cliff is right by your minerals. So Reaver drop is really powerful, but if you have a couple Dragoons and an obs, or say a cannon and an obs like that, Reaver drop becomes almost impossible because there's not room to maneuver. You pretty much have to drop like right on top of the things that are shooting your shuttle. And the pros are fast enough to run their probes, and therefore the Reaver drop doesn't do anything, you lose your units, and you have a huge patty face. So I can understand why they both went obs into Reavers, even though that takes, it seems like such a unusual type build, considering it gets both an expansion and Reavers late, which usually you want to have, well, expansion, Reavers, or tech, and that gives you none of those quickly. But it makes sense for the map. So Bisu is just gonna be like, okay, I'm playing the AI now. I'm just gonna take every expansion on the map because there's nothing you can do about it. Guemchi is trying vainly to get that third up, and Bisu's not even really challenging it at this point. I think Bisu realized he can bounce back. He can bounce back around this part of the map right here and defend 5 bases. And at that point, and Guemchi loses another obs. Obs cost a lot of gas. Like, it's kind of not fair. Terrans get these nice 75 mineral turrets. Zurich have these overlords which are pretty much free, and then Protoss have to spend 75 gas on just detection. On the other hand, obs are sweet, and you can just put them all over the map, and then you have map hack. Bisu finally choosing to reveal this DT at what should have been Guemchi's third and take out a scouting pylon. That obs is over there detecting him and not letting anything happen. And just look at this map control. Over here, this is where Guemchi gets to be. This is where Bisu gets to be. That just shows you how strong of a hold Bisu has on the game at this point, and really how little Guemchi can do about it. And I think we're going to see Bisu engage Guemchi from behind. This is a great position from him because Bisu's entire army is between Guemchi and his base. And if this fight happens, Bisu's reinforcements are going to come around and pincer Guemchi. Was that Bisu's Archon that got lost? And instead, it looks like both armies are going to go for the kill. They're going to just try to take out the opponent. Bisu definitely doesn't have enough at home to protect against, and his Reaver goes down. Bisu's going to lose his natural, as is Guemchi. Bisu's army is almost certainly bigger at this point. I think Bisu figures he can sacrifice his main because he's got other expansions elsewhere, and he'll do enough damage to Guemchi's army that whatever remains of it can be dealt with by his. On the other hand, Guemchi's got lots of magic units. He's got Templar and he's got Reavers sitting on top of there, and those are great for killing off units without taking any damage yourself.